Don't touch it. Hi, everyone. My name is Georgette Truan. I am the host of Fight CPS with Miss G, and I also work with attorney Vincent Davis. And I have two special guests. I have Mr. T. Oh, Mr. T. I'm going to call you Mr. T. I have Mr. T with us. I can't pronounce his name for some reason. Um, so we decided before the show I'm going to call him T. And then we have Miss Jamie. She's been on my shows before several times, and she's special to me in my heart as well. You know, she's a very special woman. I love her very much, and I love her daughter a lot too. I just wanted to just recognize my sister Gigi. She passed away July 16th of this year, and she used to watch my show every time I was doing my shows. And I just want to say that I love you, Gigi, and I know you're in a better place, and that I miss you so much. She was my best friend and my sister, my only sister, and she was 59 years old, and she departed Earth, and she's going to be missed a lot. So I just want to let you guys. I just want to say this to all of you guys watching the show: to always love your family, hold them dear to your heart, and let them know every day you love them, and don't ever stop fighting for them. Okay? Because that's all you got. You got family, you have God, and you have your family. Everyone else is really, you pray for people, you care about people, but you can only trust your family. So we're going to start with Jamie. Jamie,
Put me on the hot seat.
show everybody your shirt first. Look what she did.
Or go this way. I can't see. Am I straight?
You're straight. She did
I
a
can't
shirt.
see. It's like this big on my phone.
No, I understand. Oh my God, I love that shirt. She said she got it done an hour ago.
I sure did.
Yep. So let's start with you, and then after you, Jamie, we're gonna start with Mr. T. Okay.
Okay. Drum roll. So what do you want me to talk about?
I want you to start with. I know that the social worker's outside with your daughter right now, your teen daughter,
Yeah.
and she sees her and she talks with her an hour away from the home. Correct?
Yeah. Well, not away from the home, just sitting in front of the house
Okay.
in
So
the vehicle.
okay. So what's happening with that? Because I haven't talked to you for a while now.
And she's in because remember I told you they were trying to get her into independent living and get her out of my house and all that other stuff. So she just has to go with the policy, and she's like in the independent living class or whatever you want to call it, I guess. So she has to go a couple of times a month.
Okay.
Like
And
for an hour.
And how long has she been doing that, Jamie?
For the last 8 months now, 7 months. Yeah.
And does she complain about that? Because a lot of teenagers.
Yeah, oh yeah, she hates it. She hates it. She doesn't even want to go. She just literally woke up out of bed and she's like still in like pajamas going outside. Like didn't even want to do it, like rolling her eyes at me, She doesn't want to deal with it.
It's so hard to have teenagers do anything like that. But there is there's a story of a young mother like you, Jamie, that has two children.
Mm-hmm.
And the children were told by the social worker, and this is in LA County. LA County.
LA County.
Yep. The social worker's office is in LA County, Vermont location. And the social worker told the teen, she's 12 years old, she told her that if she claims that she doesn't want to see her mom and dad anymore, that she's going to get now I used to, they used to say tablet, like an iPad,
iPhone or iPad.
Now saying like Apple desktops and
Apple
laptops,
like the best of the best,
Mm-hmm.
just to get them. They just buy them and manipulate them to, move that way.
Right.
to like brainwash them thinking that, because if their parents can't get them something or they can't afford it, well, CYS can. So then they brainwashing them into hating their parents and flip sides. That's
Correct.
just how they do it. They're
That's
demonic.
exactly how they do it. And then when the social worker told the 12-year-old that, she said if she tells anyone, she's going to be in trouble and she will never see her parents again.
Yep.
The teenager wrote a note. She wrote a note and with her own handwriting, and she mailed it to her mom. She found a way to mail it to her mom. And she told her mom, whatever they say, I said is not true. I do love you. I want to see you. I want to be with you. I cry for you every night. They're forcing me to take medication. And
Yep.
I don't want to take the medication because every time I take the medication, it makes me act
Drool
different.
on yourself.
Right. She said she acts like she's not herself.
Hmm.
This is a normal cycle with CPS. They always medicate children. Why? Because
Yep.
they don't want the children to speak up. They don't want
Yep.
the
They don't.
children to speak about what they're facing, what they're dealing with. They want to
Yep.
help them. And I don't
That's
know
what
if
they did to my daughter.
oh,
That's what
see?
they did to my daughter. Remember, my daughter came home and said, "Now you got to deal with a broken, traumatized child now, and you don't get the same child back because
No,
of what they've done." And she actually believed it. Remember all the things that they were telling her about me until she actually saw it for herself and realized it because they had her so scared and manipulated to the point where I couldn't even talk to her at a visit. I'd go near her and she'd be like, "Oh, she can't say nothing to me. Like I can't even talk to her. Like, oh my God, like." Excuse me for living,
exactly. And also, I just want to say this to you guys out there. And I'm gonna mute you for a second, Jamie. I want
Okay.
everyone to hear this, or you can mute yourself, baby. Um, so there's another individual that I spoke with yesterday, and she's a mother as well. She's a wife and a mother, and her husband to get the V visa, something about D visa or something like that. Um, I'm trying to find it. Um, I wrote notes on that actually. Let's see. Okay, here it is. U visa. It's called U visa. The letter U dash visa. In order for him to get the U visa, right, he has to be going through domestic violence. Like it says here, qualifying crime for U visa includes rape, torture, trafficking, domestic violence, sexual assault, abusive sexual contact, and prostitution. Now he's an illegal immigrant. His wife is also illegal immigrant. So in order for him to pass for the or to keep the U visa, he has to go through domestic violence and they will give him the U visa. I guess that's the new law, something like that. Um, the wife did not do anything to him, and he called 911 and reported her for domestic violence. So the domestic violence report, of course, goes under the woman, even though the man is the one that reports it. Even if the woman is reporting it to protect herself and children, it goes under the woman always. And all of that is for him to get approved for a visa. Meanwhile, he took his children, two boys. He took his two boys from the home. The man is 6'2". He's over 300 pounds. He told the police that his 5'4" wife, she's 5'4" in height, beat him. She didn't do anything. She was actually at work. She was working. She has a little stand outside selling fruits, fish fruits. She said she was at work and she showed me everything. She said, "Ma'am, I don't speak English very well." And of course, I had to get somebody to translate. But it's so alarming. So he kept the children, the two boys, and the mother was arrested, even though she showed the police where she was. They arrested the mother. He has the two boys. She's fighting for her life, for her sanity, and for her kids. She doesn't speak English, and he took full advantage of her. Now, granted, evil is from both sides. Evil, men or women, they're equal. There's evil on both sides. However, I'm sharing this with you guys to let you know to be careful who you interact with, who you marry, who you have kids with. Because at the end of the day, they're all after themselves. People are becoming more hardened. They're becoming more selfish. They love themselves more than anyone. And all they care about is themselves, and that's it. Okay. So I just want to share this story with you guys. Whoever is out there listening, bring awareness, and please make sure that you let everyone know that CPS is not someone to trust. CPS is not somebody who's your friend. CPS is not someone who will come to your home to protect your children. CPS make money
Definitely
from
not.
the federal government, and that federal fund is from our social security fund and our, taxes, of course. And that federal government fund these people for stealing children. The state judges know very well what the social workers are doing, and they are so used to the money coming in, they're not really holding them accountable, or they're not even doing checks and balances on their statements against the parents. So the social workers will follow you everywhere. They will follow your grandmother, your grandfather, your aunt, your uncle. You will go to the market and you'll see a social worker. Of course, he's not gonna dress like a social worker. He's just dressed like a normal person, holding a basket, a shopping basket. Usually, it's a shopping basket, not an actual.
Well, they're not normal people, Miss G.
True,
So they
they're
might
not.
not be dressing normal. They
True,
might be dressing like Deadpool or something. You
true.
know.
That is very true. But at least watch for them, because they do follow you. They do know everything you're doing. And especially when you're on the phone speaking to someone when you're in the supermarket, they hear your conversations. And oftentimes you guys allow your ex-spouses or the target person to go see the child, because you don't see that they did anything wrong and the social workers are lying, but they see that too. They will target you. They will see that you're allowing, the mother or the father or the whoever is under investigation, allowing them to see the child. Then all of a sudden social workers will go to the grandmother's house, for example, if she has placement, and remove the baby or the children from her, right? So because they already know that mom went to visit grandma when she was not supposed to. Okay. Keep that in mind as well. The younger your child is, the more adoptable your child is. I have a friend of mine who's taken foster parent classes right now. I'm not going to say her name or her city or her state. And she's learning in foster classes right now that there is no such thing as God. There is no feelings, emotions. And also, that if a teenager wants the foster mother to give her condoms to have sex with an adult male, meaning if the child is 12 and the adult male is 22, to allow them to have sex and to give them condom. You're not allowed to tell them anything. You're not allowed to tell them what to do or who to do it with. And she's also learning that when a child runs away from home, from the foster home, a teen or a preteen, never call the police. Always notify the social worker immediately. That's what they're learning in their class. And the only reason my friend is doing this is to expose them, and she's recording everything. So I'm just letting you know that
And then
these,
there's adoptable foster homes too. There's regular foster homes and then adoptable foster homes. And I learned that too. And I found out the one my daughter's in was an adoptable foster home.
yeah, well, I shared that with you guys for the last years, but there's three different foster homes. There's a temporary placement home, there is a permanent placement foster home, and there is a adoptive foster home. So oftentimes what happens is an adoptive family wants to adopt, right? And they have like 100,000 or 50,000 or whatever they have to adopt children, or a child rather. The adoptive home, right? There's like a facility where they can adopt from, aside from fostering, right? They tell them, hey, if you don't have enough money, the cheapest way to do it is become a foster parent to adopt. That's exactly how they get them. So from that point on, they say, okay, well, that's the cheapest way to do it. What type of child can we ask for? So they go, let the social worker know, this is the type of baby I'm looking for. I'm looking for a blonde child, with blue eyes, or a white child, or a biracial child, or a Japanese child, or whatever, whatever child they want, or
It's like
uh,
they're ordering out of a magazine.
correct.
That's what
And
they
then the
do.
social worker, of course, writes that down. And then that supervisor tells the social worker that's doing an investigation, for instance, um, these children are twins, they're babies. The nurse said that the mother cannot afford buying food and diapers for the children, and that she needs financial help. Go to the hospital, remove them, and put them in this adoptive foster home. So basically, all of the sudden, the mother has drugs in the system, the baby has drugs in the system, and then we subpoena the records from the hospital, and it shows that none of them had drugs. I'm speaking from, true life stories here. So you have to be very careful. Do not tell them that you can't afford taking care of your child. Do not tell them that you don't have a job and that you don't have anyone to help you. If you don't have a family, invent them. Make your best friend your family. Make her your sister. Make her your aunt. What I'm saying to you guys is this: never allow anyone to know too much about you, especially when they're there to take children. Okay? The more you give, the more they will use. That's what you don't want that. People will listen to your story and listen to your grief and cry with you and take what you shared with them and use it against you in the most hurtful, harmful way that you could ever imagine. And then they will, in your face, they will say they're your friends. Don't trust. I used to be very like I trusted everybody. And Stacy and I, most of you guys know who Stacy is. She's a physician assistant in New York. I love her so much. She's an amazing woman. She told me the same thing. She said, Miss G, you trust too much. She said that to me a couple of years ago. And sometimes you can't stop trusting people, but you have to learn. So you're not a fool at the end. A fool will never learn from their mistakes, but the wise will learn, right? The wise will always learn from their mistakes. So stop talking about your family. Stop making friends with your neighbors. Uh, stop telling your kids not to. Stop telling your kids that you're gonna whoop their ass and that you're going to beat them with a belt if they don't listen to you, because that neighbor is listening to you yelling in the backyard at your kids, and that neighbor is going to call CPS against you and your children. Okay, because the first thing that neighbor is going to say, she's beating her child with a belt. You're just warning your child. You're saying, if you don't stop doing what you're doing, I'm going to beat you with this belt, or I'm going to beat your ass. All of that is not good. And you being loud and yelling and doing this and that is not helpful for you, because your neighbor could be recording you. Your neighbor's camera could be recording you. And that's a lot of cases we're getting like that. So please be careful. Please take care of your family. Pray together all the time and sit together and communicate together. Do not threaten. Do not, I don't know. I don't feel like kids listen that way. Threats. You can't threaten your children and expect them to listen. They don't listen that way. But show them respect. Tell them what the consequences are. Let them know that whatever they're doing, they're going to have to deal with the consequences. If that's what they want to do, then that's their choice. But give them an option. Give them what the outcome is, right? From their actions, let them know that it's going to harm them. But talk to them like young adults. Speak to them calmly. Don't shout, don't yell. Just because you're stressing at work or just because you're having a rough day, don't take it out on your children. And I see a lot of parents doing that. Don't take it out on your kids. They had nothing to do with you having a hard time or they have nothing to do with you and the dad fighting, bickering back and forth who has custody. All that is what really hurts your children. So please keep that in mind. Whatever you do hurts them. And Jamie, with all due respect, baby, I want to give the floor to T, Mr. T. I
Go
would
right
like
ahead.
I would
Go
like
right
to know
ahead.
more about him. T, I know that you're dealing with CPS. Please share with us what state and county, or what county is this in, or what state?
Um, this is Oklahoma, and
Okay.
it's Tulsa County.
And how many children are we talking about here?
Uh, I have four that were adopted out um from a corrupt case in 2017. It went from 2013 to 2017, and then I have full physical custody of my oldest son and my youngest daughter now.
Oh, okay. And when did you get the custody?
I got custody of my daughter November of last year, and I got custody of my oldest son May of 222.
Okay. So what's going on right now? What are they sharing with you? What experiences did they endure, these special children?
Um, but like you mean experiences as far as like CPS? Well, here recently I've had two cases within the last year regarding the same thing that regards my oldest son.
Mhm.
Um, uh, the situation with him was I was alienated for about 11 years, you know, for wrongful reasons, and I was never around, and I actually like, taught myself to take myself to court and uh, to represent myself just to get a visitation, and I ended up getting full custody because it was said that he was out of control. Um, so about 6 months into having custody with him, I started noticing like weird sexual behavior from him,
No,
and
not
so then about a couple of months after that, after like his 13th birthday, uh, there were some acts that he had committed on other children younger than him.
mhm.
So I had to file with the police and with CPS. You know, I had to go through those things with them, and uh, they basically just made me put him. It's a weird situation. Basically, um, I'm kind of in a limbo, still within a year.
Mhm.
Um, they told me, you know, basically just to keep him in counseling and in group counseling right now. But he's violated in group counseling and not allowed in group counseling anymore, and he's only allowed like individual counseling. And they've said from the jump that uh, because of his childhood and what he's endured as a child, um, the best recommendation that his therapist is giving is for him to go to a residential facility center. Well, we can't get him into one of those because of his low IQ score.
Mhm.
And I've elaborated that to CPS plenty of times to try to get a child psychological to get a psychologist to get in there and give him an update.
You're talking about evaluation, psych evaluation.
Yeah, psych evaluation.
Okay. Hmm.
Because a lot of the offices here that do those for children, their waiting lists are up to like 6 to 8 months here.
Right.
You know, and they were saying that if I get closer to the border of the state lines, you know, that I could probably get something quicker. And I was trying to ask them for their assistance, you know, with transportation to get to these border places. And I'm like, but they were just giving me phone numbers for places that I've already called. So he's reoffended. Um, well, it's suspected that he's reoffended here within the like last couple of months, and there's been an ongoing investigation since then. It just recently got closed out.
Hmm.
Um, I'm having to go to court now because I won't allow his mother to speak to him because she tries to convince him that he's done nothing wrong and that everybody's lying on him. And this is after he's already done admitted things, and we've been through like a criminal interrogation. And the facts have already been substantiated, you know. And so I tried to get her on board to get on with his support and to try to get him treatment so he can heal and move on from these things. And she just doesn't want to get on board or cooperate. So I'm going through a legal proceeding now. I got court like next week because she's took me to court for citation on contempt for not letting her see him. And I've already elaborated to the judge, you know, these circumstances that have happened and how she's not willing to cooperate. Um, those are the current things that I'm going through CPS right now. I was actually wanting to elaborate some of the things that I went through CPS as a child of myself, and what happened with my middle four children.
My God, this is so. She's the one who's causing problems. The mother.
Yeah. Well, yes, because it wasn't found out until the criminal investigation of the sexual trauma that he went through as a victim, living with her under
Mhm.
her lack of supervision and her neglect. And I've tried to get her just to talk with him about these things because he's frustrated about it, you know,
Mhm.
and she won't talk to him.
And how old is the child?
He just turned 14 in June.
So he's a teenager.
Mm-hmm.
And
He
how
had
long
just
was he?
turned 30.
Right. So how long was he in CPS custody? T.
Uh, it, they didn't take him into CPS custody. They were because one of his victims was his 9-year-old brother, and um, prior to all these things going on, his 9-year-old brother is not biologically mine, but his mother was trying to give me him because I guess it was said that he was out of control and wasn't respecting her and her husband, and he
Right.
respected me more. But you know those types of things. So then once you know DHS did get involved, it was said you know that we have to come up with our own safety plan to separate the boys, and if not, then CPS was going to do it for us.
Okay. So what's happening right now, currently?
Right now, the case is
Don't
actually
sign no
closed.
safety plan.
Yeah, right now the as far as like that current case, that was closed. I want to say like last week, last Friday, last Saturday,
Hmm.
and he's not in custody now. Basically, what they elaborated to me was the only reason they get involved is to make sure that I wasn't at fault as to why he was doing these things, and then so both times they've already done found me not at fault, and that's basically how they come through and do those investigations.
Um, I just wanted to say something real quick to you, Faye and Jose. I will respond to you guys shortly. But keep writing your questions. I will address each and every one of the questions. If you have any questions or if you want to mention something, please let us know. I will address it in a few minutes. But going back to you, T, what are you looking to? What are your questions? What questions do you have dealing with all this? Do you have any questions at all or
Well,
concerns?
um, as far as regarding those this current case or just in general.
Current case, because right now we're looking at now, right here and now. What's going on,
Uh,
like right now? What questions do you have?
well, as far as those questions, as far as with my current case, I have nothing. But I do have something else currently going on with CPS that doesn't it. It's not a CPS case, but it's corruption that I found by going and doing um a- um a case document uh like request, and I'm going through a tort claim to where I'm going to attempt to reverse the adoption that happened in 2017 and sue the state of Oklahoma and the county of Tulsa for wrongly um, depriving my children and and coercing me in uh, coercing me, manipulating me to sign over my parental rights against my will.
Did they threaten you? Because a lot of clients actually, or a lot of people that call me as well, they a lot of parents that call me, they report the social worker and their court appointed attorneys, telling them that if they don't sign their rights to, like, remove their rights from them, like for the parent to say, I don't want the children anymore, they're going to make their life hell. Literally,
Well,
word for word, they're going to make their life hell. And I heard that from Sacramento social workers and court appointed attorneys, Utah, Florida, LA County, numerous times, San Bernardino, Lancaster, and Riverside.
well,
They
what had
try to make
happened
me
was,
do that too. They try to make me sign over my rights. I said I ain't signing nothing. Involuntary. That's what it comes up in court.
Right. Go
right.
ahead, T. Yeah.
Um, uh, s- uh, so what had happened was, I had emotional to terminate my parental rights, and they were either going to terminate my rights, and I told them that I wanted to go to trial. They called a mediation. Um, uh, my attorney at the time, she told me that this was my time to have the floor and discuss my issues that I was having with CPS during the time with the judge. So I gathered up all my evidence because they said I didn't complete my parenting classes. They said I didn't um, like obtain an apartment. They said I didn't get employed. They were basically saying that I wasn't completing my ISP and they were moving to terminate my rights. So I got a letter from the Parent Child Center stating that I was one of their best students and that I passed their classes with ease. I got all um, uh, 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 my paycheck stubs. I got my lease, and I was going to take them to this mediation, and I was going to elaborate to them how DHS wasn't reporting my accomplishments.
Right.
Well, um, it was very weird. They took us outside of the courthouse and they took us into a trailer that sat outside. And then they told me that the judge that was supposed to be there, the one that's heard the whole case for all this time, was not there that day, and that there was another woman that was acting in her place. It was me. It was Natural Mother. It was both of our attorneys. It was the kids' attorneys, and this woman that was acting judge. And the woman had asked me, what we were here for, and I started elaborating that, and I started pulling out my evidence. And the kids' lawyer says, uh, I don't know why we're talking about reunification, and we just need to be talking about adoption, that it does. So the whole
Right.
conversation shifted, and it went straight to adoption. And from there, uh, that they kind of eased their way into it, and they were like, we'll make Facebook accounts, we'll make email accounts, we'll send you pictures, da da da. And if you cooperate with us, we'll even say you're like a family member, and you can see them. And they were like, "Do you want to sign over your rights?" And I was like, "No." Like, I was very firm on no, but I'm gonna go to trial. Well, this went on. Well, like my attorney, she called a recess, and she was
Mhm.
basically giving me the bad outlook if I continue to go to trial. She was like, if the foster mom goes in there and she tells them how she's had your daughter since she's been born from the hospital, then the juries are going to take that into her favor, and you're going to lose, you're going to lose your rights, and all this other crap. And I'm like, hey, look, I want to go to trial. I, I said uh, like they did me wrong from the beginning, from taking my daughter. I didn't have nothing to do with the open case that, that my daughter's mother had. And so we go back into the court onto this trailer, and the same process happened like 2 or 3 times. They tried to get me to sign this voluntary thing to sign my like my like my, like my parental rights. I'm sorry, I got a speech impediment.
That's okay, sweetie. I understand exactly what you're saying. Go ahead.
And but this is the first time I've ever had to talk about this with anybody. But, so um that same process went on about 2 or 3 times. They tried to get me to sign over my rights, and I told them firmly, no, I'm not interested in that. I want to go to trial. Well, the last time she came to me as my attorney, and me and Natural Mother don't have the same attorney. We have separate attorneys. We're considered uh, uh, as co-defendants, and her uh, my attorney is not supposed to be telling me anything that's going on with her and her attorney. So she tells me already. She says, "Well, Natural Mother already done signed over her rights." Like, so that was already a hard hitter for me. And then I was like, "Well, I don't care. I still want to go to trial. But even if I still got to go alone, I'm gonna go. And she says, "Well, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you this. If um if you go to trial and you lose your rights, your rights are terminated. Not only do you lose your rights to these 4 kids that are in this case, but you also lose your rights to your oldest son in Okmulgee, which was in a whole nother county. And he had nothing to do with the case, any of that. So at that at that point, I felt like my hands were tied behind my back. It was like they gave me an ultimatum to choose. Give up uh, these 4 kids here, keep your uh, uh, and if you do that, we'll keep your oldest boy, or you can go here and you can lose them all. But um, so for a long time, I didn't feel like that was right. And for the last 3 or 4 years, I've been studying law. I've been taking myself to court, like pro se, with some other government corruption things that I've got. I've had a lot of success, here in the last 4 years off of that. So I said to myself, I want to touch base on what happened with the CPS case that caused this, because I know there was something that went wrong. Well, um, it said in our state statute that when these processes and these procedures go through, that that an attorney is supposed to come to you and she's supposed to lay out exactly everything that's supposed to happen with this process. If you agree to sign, if you tell them no the first time, they're not supposed to keep pushing the issue. So uh, she's supposed to tell me exactly everything that goes on with the terms and conditions of signing over my rights. And then once I had that discussion with her, then we set up a meeting with the judge. And with the judge is a court reporter, so the court reporter can report it. It's all done in a courtroom. It's all on the judicial record. There's supposed to be evidence of it. Okay, so I went in and I went to the court clerk of the juvenile borough here, and I went through and I asked him if I could have documents of that of, uh, 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 of the of the past case. They told me that I would have to fill out a request to the judge, and the judge would have to grant that order to release those documents, and I couldn't receive anything that was that happened after the adoption. I can have everything that came before the adoption, but I couldn't have everything after. And I said, fine, that's fine. I just want to see this this event that happened right here. So sure enough, I'm going through it. I'm looking for these documents. I'm looking for the judicial record. I asked him. I said there was no court reporter in here. I said, is there um do you have any record that shows that there was a court reporter in there that day? And he was like, I do not. He was like, I don't even have a court paperwork to even show that you guys even were there that day. So um with that being said, with the court clerk being flabbergasted, I asked him. I said, so, but there's supposed to be a court reporter in here, right? And if you guys don't have any kind of record, then that gives me legal standing to vacate this order. And he just he gave me like a look where you're right, but I'm not going to tell you that, because if I tell you that, then it comes back on me. I lose my job, blase blase. So currently that's where I stand at right now. I'm trying to get documents from CPS, and CPS they want me to get a whole nother order specifically stating that I can have documents from them. And I've already done shown them the order that I got saying that I could just receive the documents from the juvenile bureau, and DHS, but they're not acknowledging that. They want me to go ahead and do one that says specifically for DHS, and from there, if I don't see those same documents, I'm going to go ahead and go forth with my tort claim and try to reverse the adoption. and I'm trying to sue them for damages. You're muted.
Sorry about that, sweetheart. So you want to sue them for damages. That's something we need to discuss, because there's more questions I want to ask you, and it's not, we don't have enough time on the show
Okay.
to ask. Um, Remember this: if you don't have the right evidence, and this is something I need to talk, I need to actually make a show, do a show just on evidence only, how to collect evidence. Okay. A friend of mine, I think I mentioned this to you guys before. A friend of mine's father is a retired federal judge, and I've known her since high school. We went to like the last 6 months of no, the last 9 months of junior high. We became friends, and then we've been friends ever since. So high school, all that. He actually broke it down to me, and I brought it to Attorney Davis's attention during a meeting with a client in the office. And I told the client, this is what you need to collect good evidence. And this is what he said. Mr. Davis agreed with me, and he said that Georgette is right. That's great. And when you collect evidence, oftentimes people say, this is the social worker's text message to me, and then blah blah, and then you look, all you see is a name, right? Jessica Smith, for example. And then that's not good evidence. You need to put Jessica Smith and her number next to Jessica Smith,
Hmm.
meaning the name contact on your phone, it should have the first name should always be the full name, and then next to the full name is the full number, so when you're texting, you're showing the text. Also, when you want to present evidence into court, you need to get a transcriber. A transcriber, you have to hire a transcriber to transcribe what was said on the voice message, for example. The reason for that, because the judge is not going to sit here and listen to your phone, right? That can't confirm the name and phone number, right? And all he hears is a voice. He doesn't know this person, right?
Right.
So the transcriber will take the name, the phone number from the recording, and basically she or he will transcribe what was happening in that recording, what was said and done. That's the kind of evidence you need. Also, when you collect evidence, you cannot collect hearsay. You cannot say the social worker told me on the 19th of August that she's going to kill me and my family. Right? That's a
Right.
big accusation. You have to have
Right.
something to back it up.
Right.
So I tell people, buy ring cameras. Make sure the ring cameras record over 120 seconds movement, right? And keep moving so the camera can keep getting all the recording. Or invest in a much higher expensive camera where it records 24/7, right? So anybody that goes to your house is being recorded, and then have a sign outside your door that says this house is 24 hours surveillance. Okay, example. Because once the social worker walks in your home, she or he cannot say, cut off your camera. No, there's a sign out there. You
Yep.
walked in, so you permitted yourself to be recorded,
Yep.
right?
Right.
So that, don't let them fool you. Just do it. This is the way you need to do everything in order for you to collect evidence. Another thing too, when your child shares something with you, and say your child said, "Mom, um, hold on, I need to sneeze. It's not coming." Okay, went away. If you're in a visit and say the child says, "Mom," and whispers something in your ear, during the visit, you're not supposed to do that because they monitor that. So what you need to do, politely, just say, "Baby, you don't have to whisper. You can ask me out loud." And then if the child looks around because he or she are scared, do not look at the monitor, and look at the monitor, the one monitoring your visit, and say, "This is how you guys been doing me. Now you're harassing my kid. My kid is afraid," and all that. Don't do that. You're literally setting yourself up to fail worse than you're already in. The way you do this, the way you collect good evidence is write down after the visit. Today, August 15th, 2024 at 2 p.m. My son came dressed in a pink shirt, blue jeans, white tennis shoes, Nike, and he had a baseball hat on, Dodgers blue baseball hat on. My son approached me. He whispered in my ear. I informed my son that he can be comfortable enough to speak to me without whispering in my ear. And then write all that down. Okay, now if you have a good attorney, right, a CPS defense attorney, not the public pretenders, that CPS defense attorney will subpoena the cameras that day from that visit. Because every CPS office, they have cameras in each room.
Not in my CPS office, not in their CPS office. There's no cameras.
What?
No cameras, and then they have this little thing called the hand house. And that's where they have the visits too. If you get a little bit, it goes from the office to from the 5x5 cell to the hand house, and then if you're lucky to home visits or reunification. But yeah, that they don't have cameras.
Okay. Okay.
But guess what? I had cameras on every visit. It recorded the whole thing.
Right. But the thing about it is not everybody can, they have
Do that.
security and they can't bring equipment with them.
I know
So
that's
if you
they
guys
tell
don't
me.
see cameras in the room, then just write down everything. And also write down what the monitor is wearing. If the monitor is wearing braids, for example, say the braids are down to her waist, the color hair she has on, the monitor was wearing a jacket, brown jacket with a flower, a pink flower on the left shoulder. The monitor also was wearing a pink scarf with blue lines. This is good evidence, right? This is good evidence. You make sure you write everything so clear, like you're writing a journal, and you want everything in that journal so you can reflect on years from that date, right? You want everything truthfully because you're writing the truth down. So then explain it to your attorney, but keep collecting evidence. And then the more evidence you have, the more you're going to literally, you're going to open yourself up for possibilities of winning. Okay. But if you take matters in your own hand and you start saying, being aggressive with the monitor or you being this and that, don't do that. If the monitor also talks to you during the visit, make sure that you politely say, I'm so sorry, Miss Carmen, or Miss Jessica, whatever her name is. Can, is it possible we can discuss this after the visit? I would like to enjoy my time with my son right now because I miss him terribly. Thank you so much for understanding. Do you see there's a difference? If I want to go the other way, why you be asking me when I'm talking to my son? What's wrong with you? Why are you talking to me? Who are you? Who you think you are? You stole my kid. Blah. And then they start shouting.
Oh yeah.
That's not right. That's not right. Don't give, because they're testing you. The reason they're asking you questions during the visit, they want to see how you're going to respond. If you're going to sit there and talk about the child's mom or the child's father in front of the child, talking bad about them in front of the child, they're going to see who is the problem here.
Yeah.
Right? So again, CPS wants your child, period, regardless if you're innocent or not innocent, they want your child. But oftentimes, what they do, whether you're the abusive mom or the abusive dad or whatever, a very abused child will end up with the same person that's abusing him. I'm being honest. And that child is like severely abused. I'm talking about child with bruises on their bodies, and the child disclosed that this my dad did this to me, but the social worker doesn't believe the child. They think the mom told him to say that. Whatever the case may be. Okay, that's both sides. Whoever the abuser is, oftentimes CPS will believe the abuser. Okay, if you don't have your own attorney, if you stick with the court appointed attorney. Now, getting your own attorney benefits because again, they cannot do things behind your attorney, right? Your attorney has to be present when the social worker is speaking with you. For example, when you have your own private attorney, Attorney Davis again will say to me, okay, make an appointment with the social worker and their attorney. So their social worker attorney has to speak with Attorney Davis, right? Because
Yeah.
that's why they don't want you to hire your own attorney, because now they can't talk to you. They can't set you up to fail. Now
Right.
they have to wait for their court attorney, their own attorney, to communicate with Attorney Davis, and they hate that. Davis
Right.
was hired on a case last week, and it was somebody I spoke with. It was a CPS investigation. She had the case open for, I mean, the investigation going for 1 week, only 1 week, 7 days exactly. She hired us that day. Attorney Davis told her what to tell. I mean, to tell the social worker that you can't communicate with her now because you have your own attorney. Give the social worker my name and phone number. The social worker told our client, you did a really bad thing, because we could have just closed the case like that. Now it's going to take a long time because now your attorney wants to speak with our attorney. Get it? They brainwashed the client, or
Mm-hmm.
the mother or the father, to let them think what they did is going to hinder them, that they were going to get their kids like that. It's not true. Not at all. They just don't want the problems. They don't want to deal with the problem. And when they deal with Davis is a problem, he becomes their biggest pain in the butt, right? Because
Right.
now you can't interview the mom anymore. You can't manipulate the dad anymore. You can't manipulate anyone anymore because now you have an attorney. So that's what benefits. But your court appointed attorney will tell you, do whatever to accommodate the social workers. And I guarantee you, when your classes are done, you're going to get your child back. Not true.
No, they're
And
all on the same team, just different positions. That's all.
right, it's not true at all. So again, T, we can talk after work. I mean, after the show. My number, um, why is my number not showing? Oh, here it is. So do you see this? Do you see the full number right there, T, and my email address?
Yeah.
That's my information. That's my contact information.
Okay.
Um, the best thing to do is email me your full name. I used to have text messages, but not everybody can text me anymore. For some reason, my work phone accepts certain people to text me, and others they get a notification saying this number, uh, you're not authorized to text this number. They get this
Right.
message. Don't know why, but it's best for you to email me your full name. Say I was on the show with you, Miss G, and I would like to speak to you about a civil lawsuit that we discussed today on the show, and then I will call you. Okay,
Okay.
fair enough.
Yes, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah, because there's a lot more I need to ask you, and also evidence. Again, evidence is very important. On any case, evidence is very important. Do not be retaliating towards anyone, especially social workers and especially monitors. I'm begging you. I know it's frustrating. Somebody's telling you what to do. You're the mom or you're the dad. Like, what the hell? I raised my kids. Like, what's wrong with you? Right?
Right.
Don't tell me what to do, but suck it up. I
Yep.
hate
Suck it up,
repeating the
Buttercup.
word suck it up, but suck it up.
Yep.
Suck it up, put your pride aside,
Miss
right?
G, call me after the show.
I will. Put your
Jennifer wants to say
pride.
hi.
I will. I saw her waving, by the way. My baby. I saw her waving. Yeah.
She scooted by real quick.
I know. Oftentimes we just want to scream and yell and shout at the social workers telling us what to do. They're nothing. They're like nothing but 19-year-old, 20-year-old, don't have family, barely graduated high school. You know, most likely they drink and drive all the time, and their badge saves them. These people are not serious about life. These people are serious about destroying your own life. Because, see,
Mm-hmm.
in order for you to be destructive and stealing children, innocent children from innocent parents, you have to be a very insecure, cowardice person. That you
Mm-hmm.
gain pleasure from seeing other people miserable, and you gain power from seeing other people's pain. You have to be a very insecure person, and that's the only way to gain power is by controlling the narrative. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so that's why it's important for you to keep your sanity. It's important for you to keep your cool. And something that I had to learn, and I'm over 55, and I'm telling you guys right now, it's better to learn, right? It's better
Yes.
learning, even if it's too late. You think it's never too late to learn, right?
Hmm.
It's too late when you continue to be a fool, right? And
Yes.
repeating the same mistakes over and over
Miss
again.
G, pray for me. I got my oral argument for my appeal for my TPR on September 18th.
Good girl. I have to see that later too, the oral argument. What are you
Uh,
gonna say? All that later. We'll talk
they
later.
just did the first part, and she didn't give me the second part yet. I don't think my
Okay,
lawyer.
we'll
Like
talk.
there's two parts. I think she sends
Yeah,
in the one that's the normal, that's like standard, and then she writes her argument or something after that.
yeah, yeah. You're gonna
Yeah.
be good. This is a mother that never give up, you guys. She's mind her mind um her mind her mind is so strong. She doesn't give up. She's like, you are not going to do this and get away
You
with
got to
it.
remember, I got a 45 IQ though, Miss G.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
you
They
do.
could have gave me a little bit of credit, 65 is Down syndrome. So, I mean, I'm not making fun of anybody or anything, but come on, be real, right?
Exactly, exactly.
We're the ones with the 45 IQ, right?
Yeah, but that's what they do too. They actually kill your character. They
Mm-hmm.
smear campaign your name with the judge in writing. Um, Even though Attorney Davis, even in his book, that the burden of truth uh, is on the social worker.
Yeah, they never met their burden in my case, but somehow still it got put through somehow.
Yeah. Um, in opinion, okay. So here, I want to also make sure that you guys understand that in this book, uh, okay. So in this book, Attorney Davis's book, I usually email it to you guys if you want an email, but I for some reason some of my text messages don't go through anymore either. But this book is extremely informative. Um, Example, the trial, you know, the trial part. It
Mm-hmm.
tells you what you need to do.
Hmm.
All that is extremely, extremely, extremely helpful. And anything that you do with your court appointed attorney, please do not do it verbally, do it in writing. The reason for that is because you want to reflect back on that. If the judge says, well, where is the
Hmm.
388 petition? It wasn't filed. And then the attorney says nothing. And, well, I wasn't aware, Your Honor, or whatever the attorney says, then the mother or the father or the parents will say, well, I have an email right here. Print out everything. I have an email right here, Your Honor, and it shows that I emailed Mr. So and so and informed him about the 388 petition and then motion. And then he said that he will be on it, right? Whatever his response is. You have to keep all that in writing. Okay, that's very important, especially with the court
Hmm.
appointed attorneys because they're giving a little basically they're in a little box and they can only go in this box, right? The services they will do for you, they can't go beyond because the judges don't like that. This is what we're paying you for. If you go beyond what's required, right,
Yeah.
we're not going to be happy. So attorneys who work through the state don't want to piss off the judges because state judges are higher than family court judges. So they don't want to
Hmm.
piss them off. They want to do whatever the judges want or whatever the social worker wants. So the reason I call it the whole house, right, is because they're all connected together. Social
Hmm.
workers, court appointed attorneys, they go out drinking, they go out dancing, they go to birthday parties together. Judges
They have
also
lunch together.
lunch together. I mean, judges have lunch with court-appointed attorneys in the
Yeah,
courtroom. Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, even social workers. So
Mhm.
they're all connected together. Don't
Hmm.
be
The
for
same team, just different positions.
district attorneys, especially, they're connected together. District attorneys are one of the worst creatures on the face of the earth, aside from all the other ones I just mentioned. District attorneys have so much power; they can destroy a family easily. If you don't believe, ask. and Google. I will never forget the story of Fannie Willis, the district attorney for Georgia, and her affair with this married man, and how she treating him with so much, like spending so much money on him. She still denied facts. She's denied truth. All of that. That's what they do. She her appearance in court, like she was entitled, and talked to the judge any which way she wanted. If any one of us did that to a judge, we would be in jail. But she got away
Mhm.
with it. So what I'm trying to tell you guys, then she used the race card. It's because I'm black. Blah 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 blah. That's not true. You're accountable to your own actions, to actually what you've done. Has nothing to do with race or color.
Mhm.
Absolutely nothing. So the government wants to divide us apart. Why? When she used the race card, she wants all the other Africans to think, oh, this is, it's a black thing. It's not. It's whatever
Right.
you've done, right? And that
Right.
whatever they have facts of is based on what you took. That's based on what you interacted with, what you've done, what you said, how much you
Mm.
spent, right? But she
Right.
didn't feel like she wants to show her bank statement. She didn't feel like she wants to show anything about her bank. She called it a loan. She called it a gift, whatever it is. If that was a normal person like you and me, right? We would be forced to show our bank
Right.
statement.
Mhm.
But she refused, and the judge was okay with it. So again, they're connected together. That judge is the one that funded her when she was running for office. He's the one that actually funded her campaign. The same judge that was on the case was the same judge that funded her campaign. I'm giving you an example because I'm letting you guys understand that they're all connected together, all of them. So you can't put your guards down. You can't say, "Oh no, the social worker is nice to me, the district attorney is nice to me." Whatever the case may be, they're not nice. They're all fake.
Mhm.
Because the devil doesn't come to you with horns and a tail and scary teeth. The devil uses people to literally to use them like puppets to do his dirty work, right? The devil can't make you do anything you don't want to do. You know why? Because he just puts a thought in your head and you take that thought and run with it. The devil didn't tell you to do it, but he just put a thought there and you just ran with it. You get it now? So again,
Right.
be careful who you talk to. Be careful who you give your ears to. Be careful. Be careful. Do not share information with anyone. And please don't think you're a good parent and you're going to tell the social worker your life story that you're a good mom, that you were doing drugs 100 years ago and now you're clean and you're a teacher at LA Unified School District. Doesn't mean shit. That social worker is going to hold 100 years ago against you.
Oh yeah.
Okay? Even if you're a good standing member of society, you caused no harm and you cleaned up, you wised up. You understand that's why I call them demons, because only the devil holds your past against you. God forgives you. Okay, remember that. They will hold your past against you always. So they're not normal, they're demonic, very demonic. And I know too much of what goes on in the department because I told you guys the two whistleblowers that I told you guys about, if you remember. One of actually I had three whistleblower. One was on my show. The other two didn't want to be on my show. But there was one resigned from Sacramento, I believe. The other one was from LA County. And they showed me text messages from supervisors in the department telling them where to go take the child, where to put the child, to speak to the social worker in the hospital. And all of a sudden, the mother has methamphetamine in the system when there was no
Mm.
meth to begin with.
Mm.
You understand? They actually fabricate documents. They coerce people. They literally threaten nurses and doctors to do what they want. And if you guys don't believe me, go to Nancy Schaefer. She was the senator for Georgia. She was murdered for it, and they blamed the murder on her husband, who was, I think, he was on a wheelchair, and he was also assassin. So Nancy Schaefer exposed Bill Clinton or the Clintons. She exposed, you know, the demonic rat party for what they're doing. What they're doing is they're implementing all this crap. They're literally making sure that they are controlling everything. They control your children, they control everything. If you guys Google any judge in LA County in the CPS court, they're all Democrats. All social workers are Democrats. All court appointed attorneys are Democrats. I'm telling you this because I did my own research and I was a Democrat for over 20 years. And I could not believe that I was so deceived for over 20 years from my own teacher at school that the Democrats are for the people. That's far from the truth. You guys need to wise up. You guys cannot keep them getting reelected. We need to get them out. We need to get them out. If you guys don't believe me, listen to what Kamala Harris is saying. I promise not to, if I take office, I promise not to text waitresses. Same thing Trump said, though. But Trump said it way before her. But she's repeating what Trump said. But at the same token, she's the one who tax waitresses. I mean, think about it. They want you so deceived because they want to continue deceiving the people.
They're trying to capture everybody's soul and steal your focus. That's what
Exactly.
they do.
Yeah. So please wise up. Wise up, because when people are doing the right thing for people, they're going to attack. The demons are going to attack that person, right? And that person is going to make that person look to you like this person is ignorant. This person is crazy. This person doesn't know what he's doing. This person is a child. This person is this and that. No. The devil always attacks the good way more, right? So please understand the devil works hard to attack you because there's something in you that he doesn't want out.
They see the light.
Okay? Remember that. And they also see the light in you. Exactly. So I would rather have somebody who's open and honest with whatever that comes out of their mouth rather than a politician that knows what to say and how to deceive people. Okay? So keep that in mind. We need to make a change, and the change comes with us, from us first. We have to make that change, not them, not the politicians. I don't believe anything Kamala Harris says. Not a damn thing. Not even the running vice president. Okay? She laughs like a cow to me. She's not professional. She doesn't act like a vice president. It's disgusting. So again, you need to make the change. And the only way to make a change, right, is to vote right. Not because you're, oh, a Democrat. We got to vote for the Democrat. No, because nothing good happens when a Democrat is in office. I'm being honest. And this time, this election, we all need to make a difference. I hope you're listening to me, LT. I hope all of you guys are listening to me.
I'm
And
listening.
well, Jamie, I know you're listening. I want to address now Jose. Let's address Faye. I will get to you, baby. Um, Here, Jose. So Jose said, CPS framed my daughter together with the judge and several attorneys. We can prove everything they did. But the system is so corrupted and hard to fight. We are having a family court protest in New York. I'm so proud of you. Please send me a link to my email address. I'm begging you. Here is my email address again, Jose. If you're watching, if you're still watching, email me the link, please, and the information, and I will pass it on to everyone I know. I know a lot of people in New York as well, okay? And, oops. Jose also mentioned we are protesting tomorrow. Okay, so tomorrow, family court in White Plains, New York. God willing, is going to be a success. Amen to that, baby. And then Jose also said, we need a lawyer to sue CPS and family court. The case was located. Wait, what do you mean, and family court? Okay, so if you want to continue talking about the lawsuit, Jose, I want you to call me at the number that you see on the screen right here, 626-631-8901, and I'll be happy to communicate with you on that lawsuit so I can get a little bit more clear information from you. And then Jose, I think that's it. Jose also said, I have police reports and private investigators' reports, and I have recording and evidence of the court tampering with the transcripts, right? I would like to see that too, Jose. But after we talk, and then Jose said, thank you, God bless you, God bless you too, sweetheart. Now let's go to Faye. Faye, oh, Mary Beth, forgot you. CPS has done terrible things. Yep. Love you, Mary Beth. Faye said, my child was taken from me by a judge and CHFS, with CPS, in my state and handed to my bio mom. She was given temporary custody of my 5-month-old baby based off a lie her and her roommate stated in a petition. My bio mom is a substantiated child abuser of me, convicted felon. Her roommate was, oh my God, child abuser and felon, and they register what? I'm not. Oh my God, Jamie, do you remember my show when I said one of the shows when I said that they're putting children in sex offenders home? You fought. Okay, she said. Faye said I fought hard, and it took me 9 years to get my son back from her. Wow. Okay. Faye also added, I got him back and I had my second baby. My kids are 11 years apart. CPS took my kids again November 2012 and turned into 3.5 years fight, and in the end I was made to choose between my kids or lose both. My son is special needs child, and he was dying in the care, and I could not afford to lose my rights to him because I knew he would not survive, and my attorney said judge wouldn't budge on my daughter, and if he TPR on one child he will do it on both. So if you can save your son, that's what I was giving custody of him the minute I signed. I see. So they told you that if you want to save your son, you have to sign. He has been with me since 2015. Is that what I'm understanding? He is doing great aside from all the damage they did to him. But what did I'm not understanding the last part. But Faye, when we talk, maybe you can explain it to me. Because and then she said, my daughter's foster to adopt mom got her baby daughter that she always wanted, even lying on my son and me to do it. I believe it. Um, Face it, I've been fighting CPS for 20 years. Damn. Do you take calls now? Yes, Faye. Next time, I'm so sorry I didn't see that part. But yes, any one of you guys listening still, we still take calls. I mean, I take calls. Again, just let me know in a message, and then I will put you on speaker if you want. If you want to ask questions or if you want to let people hear your stories, I would put you on speaker from my phone, and then you can discuss with us. Yes, Faye, I answered that part already. Okay, so again, Faye, you want to get a hold of me? Here is my info. So it's 626-631-8901, and my email address is what you see, gat@vincentwdavis.com. Please, when you email me, make sure that you say your full name in the subject line, and I need your phone number where I can call you or be able to communicate with you. Alexa, hi Alexa. I need advice, please. Alexa, the same. If you're still listening, my love, please call me at 626-631-8901. You can also email me at gat@vincentwdavis.com. Okay, guys, so I'm gonna call it an end now because we've been going over an hour. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow's show is Relatives Fight CPS. and that's also at 12:30. So I will see you guys tomorrow, 12:30 Pacific Standard Time. I love you too, Jamie. I got your private message. I will call you after the show, baby girl. Um, and I will see you guys, the rest of you guys, tomorrow. But again, don't forget to call me, Alexa, and Jose and Faye. I would love to help you guys, and I will do my best to do anything I can to help you out. Okay? Don't forget to contact me. God bless you all. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and be good. Bye bye.